Have you ever felt that no matter how much you achieve, there is always a nagging, more whispering in your ear? We live in a world that celebrates the hunger for more wealth, more status, more possessions. But what happens when the hunger begins to eat the person who feels it? Once, in a valley where the soil was dark and the water was sweet, lived a farmer named Silas. Silas was not a poor man. He had a modest farmhouse, a loyal ox, and enough grain to last through every winter. His life was filled with the rhythmic peace of the seasons. He had what the ancients called contentment. But one evening, while plowing a forgotten corner of his field, his blade hit something hard. It wasn't a rock. It was a heavy iron chest, overflowing with gold coins from a forgotten kingdom. In that single moment, Silas changed. He didn't see the gold as a gift. He saw it as a beginning. He hid the chest and spent the entire night staring at it. The next morning, he didn't look at his crops with love. He looked at them with impatience. Why wait for the wheat to grow, he thought, when there might be more gold beneath the soil? Silas stopped planting. He stopped harvesting. He picked up a shovel and began to dig. He dug under the old oak tree where his children used to play. He dug through the vegetable garden his wife had carefully tended. His once beautiful farm became a landscape of scars and deep, dark pits. He became insatiable the more he found, a silver cup here, a jeweled ring there. The more he was convinced that the real treasure was just 1 foot deeper. A year passed. Silas was now the wealthiest man in the valley by measure of gold, but the poorest by measure of life. His ox had grown thin from neglect. His farmhouse roof leaked because he was too busy digging to fix it. His hands were calloused and bloody. One day a wandering monk stopped by his gate. The monk looked at the ruined fields and the hollow-eyed man. "What are you searching for, friend?" the monk asked. "I am searching for the ultimate treasure." Silas rasped, his voice dry as dust. "Once I find it, I will finally be free to enjoy my life." The monk sighed and pointed to one of the deepest holes Silas had dug. "You think you are owning that gold, but look closely. The gold is owning you. You have turned your paradise into a graveyard to find pieces of metal that cannot feed your hunger." Silas ignored him and kept digging. That night, a great storm hit the valley. Rain poured into the deep pits Silas had created. As he scrambled into his deepest hole to protect a newly discovered chest, the muddy walls began to collapse. Silas found himself trapped at the bottom of a 10-foot pit, holding a bag of gold that weighed him down. He tried to climb out, but the weight of the treasure made him slip. He realized a terrifying truth. To save his life, he had to leave the gold behind. But his heart screamed at the thought. The treasure had become his burden. As the water rose to his chin, Silas finally let go. He dropped the heavy bag and used his bare hands to claw his way up the muddy slope. He collapsed on the surface, shivering, empty-handed, and exhausted. For the first time in a year, he looked at his farm. It was a wasteland of his own making. The gold had been a mirage of security that had nearly cost him his existence. This story is a mirror for our modern lives. We often dig holes in our own happiness, chasing a treasure that we believe will finally bring us peace. We neglect our health, our relationships, and our inner sanctuary in the name of future security. But greed has a peculiar logic. It promises a destination, but keeps moving the horizon. True control is not the ability to accumulate. It is the ability to define enough. When you know what is enough, you are the master of your world. When you do not, you are a servant to your desires. The healing begins when we stop digging up our present to find a golden future. Look at your life today. Are you tending your garden, or are you just digging holes? Remember, the greatest treasure was never beneath the soil. It was the soil itself, the sun on your back, and the peace of a mind that is not for sale. Let go of the heavy bags that are pulling you down. Only when your hands are empty can you truly embrace the beauty of being alive.